It's tier list time for League of Legends today, and let's take a look at how patch 15.13 is shaping up so far. The latest AD carry champion Yunara will be joining the Rift next patch on July 16th, and if you want to give her a try, she's up on the PBE. So let's get straight into the tier list and start off with the top lane. In the S tier, we have Camille, Fiora, Jax, Riven, Set, Shen, and Urgot. Popular picks like Aatrox and Umbessa only just missed out here, and more situational picks with impressive stats like Kayle and Kennen are still solid options too. Dr. Mundo is still being played in an absolute ton of games, and Gwen remains up in the A tier despite several nerfs over the last few patches. Don't forget, if you want to see our low and high elo tier lists in full, then click the link in the description below. Gangplank's buff saw his win rate jump up by around 1%, but we aren't going to move him up from the B tier just yet because you need to be a bit of a one trick to really make this champion work. Aurelia's small buffs to her passive attack speed at lower levels didn't really make too much of a difference so far. She's still a solid A tier pick here and S tier pick in high elo, as long as she gets the right matchups. Our low elo pick of the patch this week in the top lane though is going to have to be Set. He's easy to play, has great success rates across most ranks, and he can just be effective so easily. You get relatively tanky pretty quickly, you deal solid damage, you can engage, you can dive, you can 1v2 to enemy ganks. There's a lot to like, so if you do enjoy him, he's a great option to climb with. Our high elo pick of the patch though, of course, is going to be Riven. Now Riven has had an amazing year so far, basically being one of the best picks you can play in the top lane at almost every single rank, especially so in high elo. When Riven is strong, a good Riven just makes her look absolutely broken. So if you're looking for a new pick to really practice to get rewards from, go for Riven. Well, now let's move into the jungle next, and in the S tier here we have Diana, Echo, Jarvan, Kha'Zix, Lee Sin, Nocturne, Pantheon, Trundle, Warwick, and Xin Zhao. Briar's, Nidalee's, and Rammus's buffs all move them up to the A tier. Xin Zhao and Pantheon continue to pop off in the S tier, and Trundle is so much stronger than people realise, so now we've actually bumped him up to the S tier too, as his stats are pretty insane at all ranks so far this patch. Finally, Vi moves down to the B tier in solo queue this patch with the nerfs to her passive shield. Our low elo pick of the patch in the jungle here is going to be Diana. Now she's still one of the most popular picks to go for, and it's not really too hard to understand why. She clears incredibly quickly and easily, and then it's all about timing those engages really. You wait for enemies to group, you get a good ult off every time it's up, and you'll be printing LP before you know it. Our high elo jungle pick of the patch is obviously going to be Lee Sin. Now if Lee is ever going to be in the S tier, it's going to be those high ranking one tricks that make him look absolutely broken. The creative outplay potential is insane on this champion, and it always has been. Now if you're not mechanically gifted, this champion might not be for you, but to be honest, anyone can learn him if you practice hard enough. So if you like combo based champions with a high skill ceiling, you've got to try Lee Sin, because right now he's back to his best. Into the mid lane next then, and in the S tier we have Anivia, Diana, Galio, Katarina, LeBlanc, Sylas, Syndra, Twisted Fate, and Zoe. Yes, despite TF's nerfs, he's still up there with the best this patch. Anivia and LeBlanc both move up this week as their win rates and pick rates have both increased, and Zoe is still a fantastic S tier pick if you can play her well enough. Akshan, Echo, and Vladimir all moved down slightly from the S to the A tier, and although Rai's got a buff to his W, he isn't going to move up from the B tier just yet. Our low elo pick of the patch in the mid lane this week though is going to be Galio. He's super easy to be effective with, and he has such a great time into so many of the more popular mid lane picks. He is such a useful addition to any team comp, so if you get the hang of his limits and his potential, you can genuinely carry solo queue games with ease. Speaking of carrying in solo queue, our high elo pick of the patch is Yasuo. He is definitely not the easiest champion in the game to play, but if you know what you're doing, you can carry seriously hard. You can outplay anyone in any lane and any game at any rank if you are consistent enough. Sure, some games you might go 0-10, but that's when your power spike kicks in anyway, right? Let's get down to business in the bot lane next then, and in the S tier we have Jinx, Lucian, and Tristana. In the A tier though we have a lot more choice with Aphelios, Ashe, Caitlyn, Draven, Jhin, Kai'Sa, Kog, MF, Neela, Senna, Sivir, Smolder, and Zeri. That was a lot of picks and a bit of a tongue twister, but we got there in the end. Now realistically, all of these picks are good in the right games or in the right hands, just not quite as statistically strong as the three in the S tier so far this patch. The B tier though is mostly picks that are viable but struggling, or those that are just more situational, like Samira or Xayah. One AD carry that has seen a boost recently though is Sivir, and that's why we're going to recommend her as our low elo pick of the patch this week. Now she is insanely easy to play and offers fantastic wave clear, scaling and utility. So if you just want to chill out, power farm, clear waves, and actually bring a ton of value to your team the later the game goes on, give her a go. Because so far this patch is winning a lot of games. Our high elo pick of the patch here though is going to be Lucian, and he's one of the top 2 most played AD carries in the game across all ranks, but especially so at master tier and above. He's been pretty good for the last few patches now, to say the least, and honestly if you know how to play him well enough, he's just such a lane bully and can be so hard to play against. He snowballs really quickly and he carries seriously hard, and as long as you don't pick him into crazy long range comps that can hit you before you can get close, you should be fine. Finally, let's have a look at support then. And in the S tier we have Bard, Braum, Elise, Janna, Lulu, Nami, Rel, Sona and Thresh. Janna, Lulu and Nami have all been S tier for such a long time now, and Braum, Rel and Thresh are proving to be some of the most consistent tankier options you can play here. Sona is also winning a ton of games too, and that's why we've had her in the S tier for the last few weeks. There's also some solid picks in the A tier as well though, with Melio and Nautilus getting picked a ton, alongside Alistair and Karma, which are 2 of the most popular solo queue picks at high elo. For our low elo pick of the patch though here, we just have to go for Braum. Now honestly, I could talk about why Braum is so good all day every day. He just adds so much value, he's so easy to play, and as an AD carry player myself, I just love having a Braum on my team. With some combos like Lucian or Tristana that can proc his passive easily, it's so hard to beat them. But he's also so good at protection, peel and disengage too. So whatever combo you're playing with, whatever playstyle you want to play, whatever comps you're playing into, Braum is a great option at every single rank. Our high elo pick of the patch is going to be Alistair, and to be honest his playstyle can really vary depending on the player and the game as well. You can play him with a really strong emphasis on 2v2s in the bot lane to set up ganks, or you can roam and play like an absolute psycho, hex flashing over those Raptors walls into mid lane and constantly camping your enemies. Alistair might not be the most basic champion in the game to play, but once you get the hang of his combos you'll be absolutely fine. And if you know how to really abuse his aggressive playstyle, you can win a ton of games from support. And that's going to bring us to the end of our patch 1513 tier list update video. Click the link below to see the tier list in full for yourself on our website, and we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching guys, and take care.